I guess it's time to continue moving forward. Okay, so for the last few days, we've been working on rewiring the taillights because when I was taking everything out of the van, a lot of the wires were crossing through the wood. In an effort to get the wood out, I needed to cut the wires because at the time I didn't have a saw. So I kind of just hacked everything out and didn't really think much of it. And that caused the back taillights to be cut off from power. So we have finally put that back together, and now, dare I say, we are going to start putting the solar panel stuff together. You know, tightening nuts and bolts and shit.
Damn, you ain't got no way to get down either, cause the ladder way over here. I can see all the way to the top.
Yep.
Okay, ready? Go ahead. Okay. It's up here. I know the neighbors know you crazy. I was gonna say they think you crazy, but like, they know you crazy. You crazy. And if somebody think you crazy when you crazy, then they know you crazy.
I'm not crazy. I don't like that word. I'm adventurous. I'm inquisitive. I'm creative. I'm dope. I'm dope as hell. And that's why I'm doing this. That's why you like me. Ain't it?
Yeah. So, what is it? Socket. That's what it is. It's a socket.
So we have a little socket on a drill, and there's a piece here that I have to get out. So here we have the black primer and paint. I don't know if y'all can see, but so this is actually gonna go all over that.
This is the dashboard. I should have picked up the camera quite a while ago, but I was in the mood, I was feeling good, I wanted to just get working and, you know, do as much as possible with the time and energy and space that I have. And I'm feeling really good right now. I think I have some wood in my eye, so excuse me if I'm twitching, but I just wanted to show you what I've been doing. So a few days ago, I put up the strapping in the back for the ceiling panels, and then I came and measured the front part of the van. It needed a different approach to doing the strapping because we put some strapping up there to help with the solar panels, but it's up there nonetheless. So I had to figure out a way to put in the ceiling without removing those straps, but in a way utilizing them for the good. So I measured the ceiling. I came out here today, cut out the strapping, and then realized that I needed some supports. So cut out the supports. I have them kind of laid out on the strapping. I'm gonna glue them together. And then I don't think I'm gonna screw them in right away because I need to figure out whether I should go buy some foam board insulation, which I think is going to be the move. Not really in a dilemma, but something I feel like I need to talk about out loud. And that's just the whole insulation process. How am I going to insulate the ceiling, right? Because I want to preserve as much of the height as possible. I am 5'8", and when I stand up in the very front at the highest point, you can see what? There's a good 5-6 inches above my head. My partner is 6'2", so when he comes in here, his head is right at the ceiling. So we're trying to preserve as much height as possible, right? Because I bought the van with the purpose of traveling, yada, 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 but we wanted the comfort of being able to stand up inside. So my thinking was just using Reflectix for the top. I've literally just sat and stared at the van to try and piece it together in my brain. But I think what we're going to do is use the fiberglass insulation and Reflectix in the walls, do foam board and Reflectix in the fiberglass wall, right? And then in the ceiling, it'll just be Reflectix. I think that's the best option right now. I'm comfortable with that. I would prefer more insulation in the very top of the ceiling, but I think an effort to get what we want, it'll just have to be that way. So we'll see. All right, quick update. It's been a long time coming. The van is no longer leaking from the ceiling. But this past week, we've had pretty long, gray, gloomy, wet days, heavy rain. There was a period of time that I came outside to check on the van and to try and get some work done because it wasn't raining in the moment. You know, I kind of nonchalantly looked up where the old leak was, not really expecting there to be anything, and there was water, a significant amount of water. I was much more upset seeing it this time around than I was having to deal with it all the times before. I didn't film that, and I genuinely just needed the time and the space to calm down. Like, I was so pissed off. I cried. I tried hard not to cry, but I cried because it's so frustrating to deal with something many times, many times, and be confident that you've done it right, that you fixed it, that you can move forward, and that not be the case. Now, I mentioned in the last video that it's an actual hardware piece that you can buy that goes over the screw holes that connects the fiberglass top to the metal frame of the van. I thought it would just be a good enough job to silicone that and call it done, and for a few days I thought it was good enough, but come to find out that it's not, and I don't feel comfortable moving forward too much until that is resolved. So my next attempt at a solution is buying a brand new trim insert and replacing it. Now, I bought a version that is supposedly better than the one that is up there because it actually covers the outside of the trim rather than just sitting inside the trim. I'm hoping that does what it's supposed to do, what it's designed to do, what we hope it's supposed to do. But that is the only solution I have at the moment that I can do myself. I'm not even going to think about the other possibilities of what might need to be done, but I'm going to just order that part, let it come in, replace it all, and hope for the best. And I will eventually check back in with you guys to let you know how it goes. I mean, this screw has literally just like calcified and rusted completely away. It's just gone. Disgusting. Alright, it has taken much longer than I anticipated, partly because there are drying times that need to be accounted for. There are other things that I have to do with my life. It's really hot outside, so it's difficult to work for long periods of time, and there's not really much shade around me. But so far, I have removed the old trim. I have cleaned all of the dirt and gunk out of the trim space. I have removed old silicone from the edges. I have applied a rust removing jelly to some of the screws to try and lift up some of that heavy corrosion. I have spray painted all of the screws with a rust stop paint. Now I am about to go around the perimeter of the van and put silicone around each screw to keep it watertight. Once that silicone is dry, then I can put the trim around the van and move on. Yeah. Okay. I think this is going to be the last clip of this video segment, or this video episode, whatever you want to call it. And I say that because I have now officially finished the job of cleaning up and replacing the vinyl trim insert around the van with the hopes of having fixed my leak. I'm very positive and confident in the work that I did. Granted, it hasn't rained in a while, so I don't really know if it's going to do the job as perfectly as I'm hoping until it rains and I come in here and check out the van. But again, maybe the fourth time is the charm. I'm confident in it. I'm confident in the product that I bought. I'm confident in the work that I did, and I'm confident to move forward. I'm here from the future just to report that there have been no leaks since having put the new trim. It's been about a month. I just checked it, everything's dry, and we're good to go. So this is where I'm gonna leave you, and I will pick you back up in the next video, where I will be putting the dashboard in, putting these support beams in, wiring the van, and hopefully getting the walls and everything else in and started. So just wanted to make sure that I closed out the previous video before I kept going on. So thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting me. I'm just gonna get back to work now.